Crabby peeps, welcome back to my channel. It's Suzanna here today to share with you this layout that I created for Cocoa Daisy using my September kits. I had a lot of fun with fussy cutting with this particular layout. I did omit all of the fussy cutting because it took an awfully long time to cut those wood slices from the 1 Canoe 2 piece of paper that was in the kit. So you can see that I've got all of those wood slices that I've already fussy cut, and I've arranged on that piece of pattern paper for the background. And I want to mat that white lighter piece on this piece of paper from, I believe this is from Simple Stories. And so I'm just cutting out a 1-inch border because I know that this is the only piece of this paper that I have, and I love the patterns on both sides, and I know I want to be able to use that later on in the collection. So in order to just preserve paper, I did cut out the center of that. So I'm going to trim 3/4 of an inch off of 2 sides of this pattern paper, and that is going to just be inserted on that brown pattern paper frame that I cut out there. I really like the white, but the white with the wood slices needed a little bit of depth to the outer edges, so I had several options. I could have inked the edges. I probably could have drawn a border, but I really like the way that the subtle flowers accentuated the dark bark around these wood slices. So I'm just going to arrange these wood slices in a pattern moving across the page from the top down to the bottom right. And you see I have these square photos, and I decided that for the symmetry of the layout that cutting them with a circle punch was a much better look for the page than to put the square pictures onto circular elements on the page. So I have each of those 4 pictures, and I'm just going to cut them out and again try and place them within the cascading circles, but also so that they're not all too close to each other. And I thought it would be fun to fussy cut one of these little foxes out of the Cocoa Daisy exclusive pattern paper and use him on the layout, as it's sort of a nature scene that I've created here. And I thought it would be fun to hollow out the log and put my little fox sleeping in one of those hollowed out logs. So I'm just cutting out the center there, and look how cute he is nestled in there. I thought something else that would be fun after the fact was to get some green thread and sort of create a little moss bed at the bottom of the leaf. But I like the way that it is, and I don't have a whole lot of green embellishments in there and didn't want to cluster too much green. So I pull out my embellishments. So these are from the Simple Story embellishment pack that is part of the kit, and that pack that I'm opening there with that circle, those are Cocoa Daisy exclusives that come with the Day in the Life kit. And so I'm just finding elements to try and jazz up the page a little bit. I didn't want too much color. The color scheme that I ended up going with here are the brown, the yellow, and green for the most part, along with obviously the off-white. So I thought maybe that circle might go with the other circles, and I put that away, and I just decided to rearrange the pictures a little bit. They were forming too much of a square, so I decided to rearrange them so that the pattern was more pleasing to the eye as you moved across the page there. And I found a few more circular elements that I thought would be fun with the consistency of the circular elements cascading down the page. And again, these are from the Simple Stories ephemera pack. And then with this month's Cocoa Daisy kit, Spiegel Mom Scraps had an exclusive sequins collection, and I thought that the pop of yellow with these sequins would be fun, adding to that, again, cascade of circles. So I put several clusters of the yellow sequins of various hues coming down the page. And also in this kit this month is a Simple Stories washi with little birds, and I thought it would be fun to put one of the little birds on the layout. I actually end up going in and cutting out a second one that you will see in the finished close-ups, but I did not do on video, and so I just trimmed the outline of the bird and have him sitting on top of that other circle, and then I'll put another one down at that bottom left corner to just sort of fill that there. So I've got my fine line glue pen with my Scotch quick dry adhesive to adhere the sequence down. I've gotten to be quite a pro at doing this. I just pick it up with my finger, and then I use the tip of the fine line glue pen to push that down into the glue that I've just put straight down onto the paper. And then it's just time to get out my adhesive and adhere other things down. I happen to have my Prima glue pen in my hand because that's what I use to get the background paper down onto that brown border strip, and so I just went with that because that's what I happen to have in my hand, but there's no reason I used that over my ATG gun. That would have been just fine too. Put my little fox in his little napping spot, and in the process of doing this I do shift things a little bit from the way that I originally aligned them. I'm not very good at maintaining the alignment, so those 3 circles end up being in a straight line down, which is fine. Ideally I would have liked to have shifted the picture over to the right a little bit, but it's hard to see when you're filming sometimes the alignment of things, and you don't get that same perspective as looking at it straight on as opposed to straight down. And I do journal on this layout. The background of this layout is actually a bunch of words, and I just used a very fine gray pen to write at that bottom. You'll see in the close-ups, and it doesn't detract too much from the layout because you can't see that there is journaling there. Really, it just looks like writing on top of writing. So these are Cocoa Daisy exclusive stickers that come with the kit this month, and I just used a few stars to add just a little bit more visual embellishment to this. The other thing that I do go in and do later is add a like thumbs up in that yellow circle there. So my original title was going to be Crab Feast because that's where we were at. These are pictures of us at our neighborhood crab feast. But I didn't like the way that crab sat in the middle there. And crab, when you stack the 4 letters like that, could also read carb. So I decided to change my title to Crabby, and I put Smile Crabby underneath because it just seemed like a fitting title for the occasion of our crab feast. So that is going to be it for this layout. I hope you enjoyed this process video. There are a couple of close-ups to follow. Thanks for joining in with me today, and I can't wait to see you next time. Take care.